Hey guys, Eric with the Miller Park Minute. I had an awesome opportunity today. I'm going to share with you guys the uncut version of the Tim Dillard interview. I got to sit down with him. I talked to him on Twitter and got an opportunity. He is a great guy, very gracious, very, very nice to let me interview him and talk to him. We talked for about 40 minutes. There's about 20 minutes of content in the interview. You don't have to watch the whole thing, but do give me some feedback. Hit me up with some likes. Let me know what you think. I might be doing some more of these. Again, I had the opportunity with him, and he was a great guy, very gracious, answered all my questions, and gave me a lot of his time. So thanks to Tim Dillard. You guys enjoy the video. And again, thanks for watching the Miller Park Minute.
All right. So, obviously you spent your time, as we already talked about, you spent your time as a brewer and in the organization and have had a lot of time in the minors, right? I believe you've been down there since...
A lot. Probably too much.
But it sounds like you don't... I mean, it sounds like you're still happy to be doing what you love, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, the minor leagues gets a bad rap. You know, people are like, oh, man, it's like it's bad or evil or something like that. But, I mean, it's a part of the game as anything else. I mean, we're here for the big league team. We're here to help them when we can. And if not, I mean, you have a job and you're playing baseball. So, to me, it's not where you always want to be. You want to be in the big leagues. But if you're going to be in the minor leagues, you got to make the best of it. And I've had too many, years and teams that I do make the best of it.
Sure. Well, and, you came from a baseball family. Obviously, your dad played baseball, and kind of was a journeyman. It sounds like throughout his career. It sounds like he moved a lot. So, I mean, for you, it's probably good to be in one place with one organization. Yeah, we've changed. The minor league teams have changed a little bit over the years. You got to play with the Beloit Snappers. And now the Sky Sox is your current location, and I think you were on the Sounds too, right? Nashville?
Yeah, I was part of the Nashville Sounds for maybe 8 years, I think, off and on.
Okay. So
I got some records there.
That's awesome. And I kind of had to laugh because I'm like, as a player, as I watched. I've seen you 4 times now in the majors, and you always hope for guys out of the bullpen and guys with that minor league experience to come out and have a breakout year and get to spend a lot of time, and hopefully you get called up this year. Is there any moments from your minor league career that you really hope to, that you can shine upon and maybe get some more experience, and there are things that you did or moments that you had that were really your shining time, or?
The minor leagues is hard. I mean, baseball is hard in general.
Mm-hmm.
I would like a AAA All-Star team. This is, I think, my 11th season being a part of AAA, and I've never made an All-Star team. I had a real good shot in 2009, and for some reason they couldn't explain why I didn't make it. And I mean, it's really hard because you're going off of 2 leagues.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like more like the big leagues. You got the Pacific Coast League, you got the International League. So to make an All-Star team in AAA is actually a really big deal. And so, like I said, the closest I've come was 2009. It's like 8 years ago. So
right. Well, you're not.
Maybe this year's the year.
You're not a young guy by any means, and I'm not young either. I'm 30. Gonna be 32 next month. You're 33. So I mean, you're not a young guy by any means. So is it weird for you?
I feel young.
Seeing all these guys play along with you and then go up to the big leagues and come back down, and do you feel kind of like a veteran guy, veteran presence on that team? Do people look up to you? Do they ask you about the big leagues?
I don't suggest. Yeah, guys do. Guys that hadn't been there, and I know what it can be like to be sent up, sent down. What goes on in your psyche, things like that. How to stay sharp when you don't pitch a lot. I don't know if it's so much advice as just tips. You know, the league that we've been in, the AAA for the Brewers, have been in the Pacific Coast League. And the Pacific Coast League is actually a really hard league. The travel is hard. The years of grind, you know, and you get to the end of the year, you don't win like a first half. You know, it's not like AA or A ball. You got to win the entire season, you know, kind of like the big leagues. And so, you know, guys get tired at the end of the year, you know, and it's really about winning and how bad you want it. And if nothing else, I'm here as a reminder to try to keep guys on course, you know, and some of my best friends are guys that I just, you know, are 10 years younger than me, but at the same time, we're on the same path and we're trying to overcome the same thing. So, I mean, it's a relationship thing, and I don't know, I do my best to just help everybody I can.
Gotcha. I always look at I always look at the minor league stuff, and I always kind of follow Starbucks. I always look at it and I follow stuff, and I find it funny to look at a couple weeks back, I believe it was, you had and I also found it interesting, you're a switch hitter, and you had a home run, and was that your only home run in the minors? Is that your only home run period, or have you had some in the past?
That was my third home run in professional baseball. Okay. My second in AAA. I hit one in AA in 2006. I'm not really a switch hitter anymore. I did that a little bit in high school and a little bit in college, but they told me to stop once I got to pro ball. They're like, it says here you're a switch hitter. Are you a switch hitter? And I was like, yeah, I guess, maybe. And they're like, no, I just stick to right-handed. I was like, okay.
Just knock that shit off.
But yeah, I've hit the long ball a few times. It's really fun.
I bet. And then obviously your bullpen mates are all like, yeah! So there's a lot of excitement there. Anytime you see a pitcher hit a home run, you know, obviously we...
Well,
go ahead.
I think I've given up a home run to a pitcher, I think, in the past. It's not that much fun. I'm definitely not going to show up the pitcher when I do it. I just put my head down and run. That's what Mickey Mantle does. I mean, why not? Why not? Just be like, well, I hit a home run. You know, that's just try to help the team and celebrate it any more than that. But what was really cool about last year is it was in New Orleans, and New Orleans is not an easy place to hit one. But I think the pitcher didn't know who I was. He didn't know I'd been around a while. He just saw a sidearm guy come out of the bullpen. He's like, can this guy hit at all? Whatever. But there were 2 outs, and Eric Young Jr. was on second base. And I was actually going to bunt until I asked the umpire. I was like, how many outs? He's like, 2 outs. I was like, dang. So I was like, all right, well, now I got to swing the bat. And the guy threw 2 pitches on me. They were both outside for balls, and I think maybe 1 pitch. Anyway, I was like, I'm just not going to miss it, and I put the barrel on the ball, and I hit it out. And I didn't know it was going to go out. I was running as hard as I could. I was like, I got to get to second base because I knew it was going to be a hit. I got to get to second base because Keon Broxton was on deck. And, you know, to be a team player, you want to be in scoring position. If the next guy comes up and gets a hit, you know, if I'm dogging it to first base and only get a single and then he hits a double, so I wanted to make sure I was in scoring position for him, but the ball went out. But the coolest thing was coming into home, Eric Young Jr., he was high-fiving me, and his face was just lit up. And he was like, white lightning. And I was like, black hammer.
That's great.
We did a dub smash about a week before that, so it was really cool. It was a pretty good moment for me.
That's awesome. Do you have, is there any particularly good, obviously through your time in the big leagues, you had 73 appearances, I think is what I saw. Is there any moments that you had where you struck a guy out? You know, I know you got 68 odd strikeouts. Any big names that you struck out, or that one player that you got and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe, just adrenaline kicking.
I mean, I'd like to say there was a ton, but I really can't think of many. I got some people out though one time. Let's see. I got Giancarlo Stanton. Nice. He was Giancarlo when I faced him. He's Mike Stanton now. I got him out on a broken bat. I don't think I struck him out. I got Chipper Jones out the year he was batting like 420. So he popped up the Braun in left field, and on the video you could see the wall video board, and you could see his average was like 423. And so I was like, just got Chipper Jones out. So my bad. But there's a few like that. The funniest one. the funnest one is probably in 2011 we played the Rays at home in interleague play, and I faced Ben Zobrist, and I'm friends with Ben Zobrist, so it was kind of a big deal, for us. And I ended up striking him out. And at the end of the year, our team photographer in Milwaukee gave us a whole bunch of pictures to take home. And I get home and I'm trying to unpack all my stuff from the season, my spikes and gloves and stuff, and I run across these pictures, and so I just handed them to my wife. I'm like, I haven't even looked to see what these are. Well, she took them and framed them. Just one of me, like a good shot of me in the background, and you can see the foreground of the umpire and the batter. So it's up on the wall, whatever. And a few weeks later, Ben comes over and we're hanging out. I love name dropping, by the way.
That's cool.
And so he comes up. And he's looking at some of the stuff on the wall. My wife had framed a lineup from a game that I got, a win I got in Miami. And so we had a lineup card. And so he's kind of looking over. He's looking at this picture. He's like, man, who'd you face right here in this picture? Who's at bat? I'm like, I don't know. So we started examining it. Turns out it was him. So I had a framed picture of Ben Zobrist, who I struck out, on my wall. And he was looking at it. And I was like, sorry, man.
That's funny. That's funny.
We have a good time with it.
Do you now? Are you obviously you've played for so long? Do you still find yourself having like fan moments? Are you still a fan of the game? Obviously you have big league friends and stuff like that, but are you still a fan too at the same time? Do you if you meet an opposing player that you haven't seen before, do you try and get autographs or balls or anything like that? Do you guys exchange that kind of stuff?
I never really got into the baseball thing. I got an autograph from Ichiro in 2006 for the Baseball Classic. I can't even remember getting another autograph past that. I got Chipper Jones's autograph for a buddy of mine.
Uh-oh.
So it was really cool. He wrote on it, personalized it, all that stuff. I don't know. I got starstruck the other day. I got a call from Bobby Bonilla. Like, out of the blue, Bobby Bonilla. And he works for the MLB Players Association. And even though I'm not in the big leagues, I still have, to get in the association. Maybe I'm not. I don't know how it works. But he just called me up and said he was a fan of some of my social media stuff. I was like, Bobby Bonilla? I was like, dude, I grew up in Bradenton, Florida. I was like, Pirate City. I was like, you were the man. I was like, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure I have one of your broken bats at my dad's house. So that's kind of a big deal. I was kind of starstruck, but he was like, dude, this is an honor talking to you. And I was like, are you kidding me? You're Bobby Bo, man.
Well, and that's,
yeah,
I'm sure you've
gotta be a fan.
I'm sure you've had those moments as a player where you're like, wow, I'm talking to this guy. If you were to, not that I want you to name drop, but, who's somebody that you talk to on a regular basis that, all-star or whatever? I mean, is there anybody that you have in your personal phone book that you talk to regularly? I mean, Lucroy, you got any guys like that are friends that are regular contacts?
Yeah, I mean, on a certain level, you keep in contact with almost everybody, especially nowadays with all the social media stuff.
Sure.
It's almost easier to just direct message a guy on Twitter or something rather than just, do something formal. But baseball players, I would say, in general, are not real formal. I don't think they talk on the phone a lot, but there's a ton of text messages. I bet 10 times a day I talk to different guys on 10 different teams about whatever. But I keep in touch with some guys, yeah. I wouldn't say I can't just sit there and go, well, I talk to one guy a ton. But almost anybody I've played to a certain degree, I've kept in touch. I saw Ben Sheets in spring training.
Oh, yeah, Ben.
I was like, who's this guy? And I'm like, it's Ben Sheets. I was like, that guy is a legend. And he saw me before I saw him. He was like, Dilly. He came up, gave me a hug. He's like, you're still doing it, man. I was like, yeah, I don't know how, but yeah, I'm still doing it, man. He looked great, too. I was like, you just go grab the ball. He was like, no, I'm good.
That's awesome.
But he's awesome. He's incredible.
That's cool. And to have those experiences, you guys sound kind of, to me, like it's a brotherhood. I mean, no matter what, you're just a part of the club. Whether you've been gone for years, whether you're retired or whatever, it just sounds like you're part of the club. Uh-oh.
Yeah, it is a special fraternity. I was, I think you guys go to different teams, and somebody comes in, you can attack. I really like this guy. If it's an older guy that is getting a younger player, be like, hey, man, will you look out for this guy? This guy needs a friend. And people will ask, be like, hey, what do you got on this guy? I was like, great dude, great clubhouse guy. Or, you just, once you're in that fraternity, you want to keep a good name. You want to keep as a teammate, team-oriented guy. And when you do that, I mean, it's a surprise. It's a network. It's a network. And it goes from Venezuela to independent ball to
sure.
probably parts of Canada.
You've been everywhere. You're a well-traveled guy, it sounds like.
I'm very weathered. This beard just covers it. Cover his face.
So, as a minor league player in the Brewer system for as long, do you follow the major league club? Are you you and your teammates, are you guys pretty, all surrounding the TV and like what's going on? Eric Thames is hot, that kind of thing.
The whole world knows Eric Thames is hot. That guy's on fire. No, I mean, I like the ignorance is bliss. Like, I like the know less. My motto in the minor leagues is do less, and it's also know less. Don't involve yourself with what's going on. I've been a part of teams years ago where guys would get off a field, a AAA field, from getting the snot kicked at us. We're on TV to see, hey, what's going on in the game. And one of the things I like to be in some of the guys is you're not on that team. We play for that organization. You're not on that team. It doesn't mean you don't support your friends. I have a ton of friends playing right now, and you support them, but it's at the same time you worry about what you're doing, what your team is doing. Everyone asks me, what kind of fan? Who's your favorite team? I'm like, whatever team I'm on. Sky Sox right now. That's my favorite team. And in doing that, it makes you focus on what you're doing. It focuses on your teammate here. Focuses on the game that you're in. It's listening to the coaches that are here, so it kind of keeps you in that present mode. But yeah, we know what's going on in the big leagues for sure.
Sure. Okay, I came up with, so this is just kind of a weird, I'm sure you've seen a video of Thames hitting a home run. So this is kind of my off the wall. I'm going a little off the wall with you. That big arm guard that he wears on his big pectoral, or not pectoral, or his bicep there. If you were around the major league club, would you lick that thing? What's a weird thing you do? You seem like an off the wall guy. That's why I ask.
I would probably test its durability. Maybe knock on it, put it. See how. See, some of those guys, in the playoffs, the Blue Jays, I think, had a couple of guys that looked like they had catch shin guards, from the knee down and from like the wrist to the shoulder,
Bionic arm almost, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I know some pitchers are bad or whatever, but I mean, there's nothing you can do about it, so why complain about it?
Right. Do you see yourself doing more of the videos? Is the video something you do just for fun? You and the guys screwing around, or is it something you're doing for a purpose?
All that kind of stuff started out basically out of I've been doing like playing cards in the clubhouse for like 10 years. I've been playing board games even. All sorts of stuff. I mean, ping pong if you got it, just anything and everything. And it came to a point where I'm like, I want to do something different. And so technology has evolved. This is the stuff I was doing as a kid, the big V camera,
Sure.
Making stop motion animation with my Star Wars boys. But I think it was the next step for me in just team camaraderie. When you got guys coming up in the clubhouse going, hey, I got an idea for a video, that's to me is what I love. And
sure.
Did some interviews the other day, and because guys are asking like, hey, you can do interviews this year. I'm like, yeah, I'll see if I can do it. And so I decided, all right, we're gonna do it. And once I post it, you can just hear it in the clubhouse. Different guys from all around the clubhouse just on their phone listening, laughing, and
sure.
And I just find it great. I just come to the field and it can get one day. In the minor leagues, it's the same thing. If you don't like the movie Groundhog's Day, like you're not at the minor league. So you come in, it's the same thing every day, and I try to make it fun. I want guys to come to the clubhouse wondering, what are we going to do today? Am I going to have like, a chest protector strapped to my chest and, running through the stands making a video? What's going to happen today? Could be. We'll see.
That's great. I don't want to take up too much of your time, obviously, but at the same time, I'm just, shooting things off the hip, so feel free to, however much time you got left. I don't know if you got a cap here.
We got Bible study in about 15 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm good.
Okay. One of my wife actually shot me a question here for you. Brett Phillips. And that laugh. Do you I mean, obviously you're a funny guy. Is there a lot of times where you get him going and does it stop or does it just keep going?
No, he stops, but I didn't know it. I'd seen it like on Twitter and stuff. So he got sent down to minor league camp, and we were talking about something. I made a joke, and that was the first time I got him to laugh like that. And seeing it in person, it's intense. Like at first I was about to go get a trainer. I was like, "Is this guy okay or what?" But it's fun, man. Like he can't help it. Genuine. It's real. It's intense. But the second time I think I picked him up in I dressed up as the chauffeur for Brewers on Deck in January, and picked up him and Jacob Barnes at the airport. And I got Barnes. It was very crowded, so I was like, "Barnes, get in the car." And Barnes was like, "Hey," he's like, "Billy," and Phillips looked up and saw me as chauffeur, and he broke out. So here he is at the airport in the middle of traffic, just laughing.
That's cool.
But he's good, man. That guy's an impressive player. He's got every single tool, and he's fun to watch.
It's very exciting watching these young guys too come up, and hopefully you get to see action. Obviously, we want a guy like yourself to come up as well, but it's fun watching the young guys to get to see them to come up and stuff like that as well.
Well, I got some feedback from some of my videos last year, and some of the things that people liked was just getting to know some of the players. Back in the day, if you picked up, I was on a team in 2007, and I mean, we had maybe 4 guys that had never played AAA baseball before. The rest of them were big with time, or at least semi-famous. Nowadays, with being so young, it's what you get to know about these guys. You see pictures, you read articles, but kind of seeing their personality really came through in some of the videos. I got a lot of good feedback for that. So in a way, some of the stuff that the crazy things I do, I'm giving them exposure so that when they get to Milwaukee, people can just embrace them even more.
Yeah, and I think that's cool. And that's a cool part of the organization. I think I've got enough here. I think we've got good content. I appreciate